You know, I think Raila is between a hard place and a rock. And again, we shall pay for the mistakes that we make as Kenyans. If Raila had been given a chance to provide leadership for Kenya in 2022, he would have automatically exited the stage in 2027. He does not trust anybody else. He thinks he knows everything. A leader works through people. A leader learns to delegate. And those who are dreaming of writing off Raila are dead asleep. Raila will be here for some time to come.
In 2027,
he'll be here. He will still have a lot of influence. In fact, his influence will even be higher than it was in 2022 because of the failures of William Ruto. What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not so going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post-Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
Hello there and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted this Friday. My name is Jadiel Kabiro for political conversations that I hope will help our leaders in making better political moves and informed policy decisions. These conversations come to you truthfully from Philip Kisia. He says he's not biased. He'll tell us more about his state of leadership and governance in this country and also about what is going to happen to this country if we do not adhere to what he says. Today we're talking about Raila Odinga, who's posed to take a job from the AU, and also whether he will vie in 2027. We'll also talk about Ruto's 50th foreign trip. He's in Japan right now. What does this mean for our country? Says we need to build our country as a nation and not rely on loans, grants, or foreigners to build this country. What does this mean for us? Philip Kisia, thanks for making time for us. Once again, it's a Friday. How are you doing?
Well, Jed, I'm doing good. Thank God it's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
I'm happy to see you again after yesterday's show.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this one today.
Let's start with this. Ruto has had his 50th foreign trip. He's in Japan right now. Says, look, we need to build this country as a people. Comparing taxation here in Kenya and in Japan, says Japan people are taxed 34.8% of their GDP. Here in Kenya, we are just at 15%, yet we are calling him names. Says, we will not listen to people calling me names. I will do what is right for this country. People are criticizing him. Why are you taking these foreign trips if you're saying we will build this country as a people here in Kenya? What do you make of this trip? How do you assess his seek for investments?
You know, Jadiel, I'll start off with a quotation by this famous Chinese, Sun Tzu.
Okay.
And I think he said that an evil man will burn his country, burn his nation, completely to the ground. For him, it doesn't matter. So long as he is ruling, he will do that and be left to rule over the ashes.
Where is this coming from? You're using the word evil man. So.
You see, when you have somebody who doesn't care to listen, and he reminds you that he is in a position of leadership and he will do what it takes, he doesn't care. Yeah, so long as he achieves his desires. Because when you're in a position of leadership, you have been given that chance, you are only there to serve people. You know, you are only there to respond to their wishes. Don't try and force down their throats things that they have not asked you to do. So I would encourage those who are in any form of leadership positions to always remember that they are there courtesy of the people. They are serving their people. They are serving the people and they are not serving themselves or their interests or what they desire to achieve. So let's get back to the topic.
To Japan.
This is Japan. And I was in Japan many years ago, and I can tell you it's a beautiful place to be. And therefore, when my president and friend made a decision to make their 50th trip to Japan, I was very excited. You know how excited, Jadiel, that we are comparing apples and oranges. These are two different countries.
Yeah.
Okay? And there's a video that I'd want you to play before even I dig deeper into this matter. There was that video where he's talking about that this country will be built by Kenyans.
I was looking at the numbers, today. Japan, their tax as a percentage of GDP is at 34.8%. In Kenya, we are at 15, less than half what it is here. If we have to develop our country, Kenyans must roll up their sleeves and develop their country. Our country is not going to be developed by others. Our country is not going to be developed by aid. Our country is not going to be developed by debt. Our country is going to be developed by us. People call me names. But you see, when you are doing the right thing, your conscience is clear that you are doing the right thing. And I will do the right thing for our country, irrespective of what names people call me, including Sakaja.
Why do you want us to play this video?
I want to play this video to say that for the first time I've had my friend and my president talking music. And I fully agree with the statement he has made, that this country must be built by Kenyans. It must be built with our own resources. He just focuses on taxes. It must be built with our own resources, and there are many resources that we can deploy. If he consults me, I'll tell him. He seems to be focusing on one resource, tax or money. I also agree with him that we should not borrow too heavily. But borrowing is allowed. Even advanced nations borrow for the purposes of advancing their nations. So there's nothing wrong in borrowing, so long as that money that you borrowed, you put into proper use, not into people's pockets. So there's nothing wrong in borrowing. I can tell you, and he should know even better, or maybe doesn't know, that even advanced countries borrow. Yeah. And they are heavily in debt. So to that extent, I really agree with him. And for the first time, music coming from William. I'm happy.
So,
however, when then he starts talking about he will not allow people to steal, corruption, then I see some doublespeak. Because he has been in office for about a year and a half. There are so many corruption cases that have been reported. Mama Pima oil, this thing, G2G, petrol thing. There are so many, maize. There are so many, fertilizer. There are so many corruption cases that have been presented to him. And I'm sure because he works with intelligence, he has that brief. He's in foreign land talking about not allowing people to steal our resources or to steal the taxes that we collect. He assures people while in foreign jurisdiction that taxes collected will be used properly. But he has not demonstrated by any means, he has not proved to us that he has that intention of making sure that there is proper utilization of the resources that we have. Taxes being one of them. There's a lot of wastage in his government. There's a lot of corruption in his government. So he should stop doublespeak. We want to see him taking action on one of the CSs that are involved in corruption. That is the day we start believing him. Now, getting back to his other statement, he talked about Japan, a tax level at 34.8 of GDP, while Kenya's 15%. For heaven's sake, you don't compare an apple to an orange. Japan is the fourth largest economy in the world. It's after US, China, and Germany. It's fourth largest. It's an advanced country. We, advanced country that has a different culture of working. They believe in meritocracy. They believe in efficiency. They believe in effectiveness. They believe in, they believe in everything that is right. Okay? On the other side, We are a lower middle income economy that believes and embraces corruption, that has no respect for the old. You know, Japan has a lot of respect for the old and experienced. You look at the way the government of my friend, His Excellency William Ruto, has treated the old people. You saw Kakamega, an old grandmother of 90 being thrown out of her house for 40 years. You again, I've read in the papers, our grandmothers and mothers who are 70 to 90 being arraigned in court at the Mongiki. So these are two different ball games.
Okay.
Okay. So you cannot compare. Look at our poverty levels. Yeah. And look at our human rights record. It is so poor that you cannot compare us to Japan.
So there's no
So
way.
Japan, yes, collects about 35% to GDP, but it is put to proper use. In Japan, all the infrastructure works. Everything works. Technology, everything works. There's no corruption. People don't waste public resources like they do. You know, we find probably his delegation is just going, and if you look at that trip, which was necessary, because he's gone there, yeah, if you look at that trip, how many times has he met the Prime Minister of Japan? He is meeting CEOs of companies.
Yes.
That shows you, and I can tell you, when you go to a place like Japan or America, these advanced economies, they have no time for you. They will meet you, maybe they'll give you 30 minutes of their time if you're lucky. 30 minutes, I can tell you for free.
Yeah.
You know, you go there, you finish, there's no time for Timandazi. You say what you want, they say, done, go. Now he's left to deal with CEOs of private companies. Like, you know, he's dealing with CEOs of, I mean, is that a job that we gave my president to go and meet CEOs of companies? Is that not a job that can be done by his ministers?
Then
Okay, so he needs to decide where he should get involved, at what level. But I think he has this character of wanting to be everywhere, to be seen everywhere. So we get news updates. Oh, now he was the CEO of this company, Toyota. He was the CEO of this company. You know, by the time a head of state, and his owner told us that they will not have, going forward, they will not have time to meet a president being summoned. Now, he's not even meeting a president. He's meeting CEOs and presidents of private companies. It shows you where developed nations have put Africans. You are not playing the same league. You have been put where you belong.
But what does he lack as a leader? If you see him making these foreign trips, you're saying he's meeting, you're not just saying, but he's actually meeting CEOs and
Yes, it's a
presidents of
fact.
private companies. What is he lacking as a leader
You
before
see,
we move on?
This is what, in my view, my friend is lacking, my president, His Excellency. He does not trust anybody else. He thinks he knows everything. A leader works through people. A leader learns to delegate. Okay? You look at the way Emeritus, my president, Mwai Kibaki, worked. Kibaki hardly made trips. Kibaki hardly made statements. But work was done. Because once you have assigned somebody responsibility, what you ask from him or her are results. But you can't assign responsibility to somebody and then go ahead and do the job for them. So why are you having those people there anyway? So I think he as a leader, he doesn't trust anybody. He believes in himself, and he believes that nothing can be achieved without his input.
Sad state of reality.
It is.
Let's talk about Raila, because our conversation today is going to be short. Raila Odinga is in a dilemma. People are asking him to run for 2027 seat, but at the same time there are calls for him to take an African Commission, to become the African Union Commission chairperson, and this job he has first to secure a very good relationship with the president so that he can assist him in the African Union. When you look at this kind of state that Raila is in, there are people in Azimio, actually principals, that don't want him to run because they want to take this position to become the president of this republic in 2027. What should Raila do? He has two options. Now, let me just quote Governor Abdul Nasir. He says, "We are demanding and not requesting that Baba Amolo Odinga be on the presidential ballot in 2027. And he's not guaranteed to win also in 2027. So he needs to find something now, whether to vie or not to vie. What should he do?
You know, I think Raila is between a hard place and a rock. And again, we shall pay for the mistakes that we make as Kenyans. If Raila had been given a chance to provide leadership for Kenya in 2022, he would have automatically exited the stage in 2027. On account that he would have achieved what he has fought for so many years. Okay? Because the only thing that Raila has not become is a president.
Yeah.
So if you had given him a chance, obviously, after 2-3 years, he would be thinking of exiting
He would
the
have
stage.
been a one-term.
He would have been one term, automatically.
Mandela.
I can tell you he would have been the Mandela of this country.
Yeah.
One term. Okay? On account of the struggle that he's gone through, on account of age, and so on and so forth. So you are the peak, and you leave when people still love you. So people still love him. I think the best moment to exit in style, like Mandela did, would have been in 2027. But that's my personal view.
Yeah.
2027. Now, he has not achieved what he has fought for so many years, becoming president. We robbed him of the presidency, continued in 2007. We robbed him of the presidency in 2017. The other times I don't know, but these ones I know I'm very clear that he was robbed. So I can see where he's coming from. But then you must understand, Jadiel, the people who are pushing Raila to run are doing it for their own benefit. They are saying, okay, Raila run for presidency, because if he doesn't run, they become irrelevant. That there are guys behind their tails who will be a threat to their offices or their positions come 2027.
Okay.
So they only remain relevant if Raila is there. Now, on the other side, Raila accepting this job at African Union, for me, the question that I've been asking myself, what value would he add? Yeah? Does he really even need the job in the first place? Does he need it? Does he need that job in the first place? So what value is he going to add? And is it necessary for him actually even to take up such an assignment to start running all over Africa? Okay? In my view, Raila should now start preparing a team. And we would want to see him exiting the stage as the king. Okay? So he still has his place in the politics of this country. And those who are dreaming of writing off Raila are dead asleep. Raila will be here for some time to come.
In 2027,
He'll be here. He will still have a lot of influence. In fact, his influence will even be higher than it was in 2022 because of the failures of William Ruto.
Okay.
But if you ask me, would it pay off having him run? I would suggest, but just as a suggestion, prepares a team that will deliver the elections of 2027.
For Azimio.
He should start building a team for Azimio that will deliver the elections for 2027. He should start also preparing the generation that will take over from the group that gets into office in 2027. Because I also see that team that will taking over being a one-term
Team.
One term.
They don't want to stay in power.
No, not they don't want. They will have to be removed because the population, by 2032, the political dynamics will have changed. The demographics will have changed. You can imagine so many Jeds will have come up.
Yeah.
In fact, by just in my own house, I have another voter. One of my sons turned 18, so I have another voter. I mean, the issues that I think are important are no longer important to him. By 2032, I'll have 2 more voters in my house. So this generation, in fact, we are a little bit too late. But this generation, in my view, should be given a few more years as a transition team and to prepare the young fellows who should now come and take this country forward. So Raila has a place to play to ensure that we have a strong team that will face William Ruto and get William Ruto out of power if he does not get out of power before 2030.
There's still that option.
If he doesn't get out.
Well, if Raila takes the AU job, decides to cozy up with Ruto so that he can secure the commission chairperson's job, would it be a blessing for Ruto? Would it be an easy win without Raila in Azimio politics?
You see, immediately Raila accepts the chairmanship of AU. Then his time, the time that he can spend domestically will reduce. I am sure there are certain conditionalities attached to that job that may not allow him to deeply get involved in local politics.
Yeah.
So he has to choose whether he wants to continue doing local politics or play at the African AU level. So, I mean, for me, Jed, it will be a blessing for, and I think that is why William Ruto is supporting Raila's candidature.
Yeah.
He would want to get rid of him because that is the greatest hurdle that he has for his presidency in 2032.
Okay.
So I would also, on the other side, the people who, the people who think they can take over from Raila, they need to show that they have the oomph. They need to show that they have the capacity. In terms of mobilizing Kenyans to rally behind them, in terms of mobilizing all the resources that are required to roll out a formidable election, I don't see them coming out.
They don't have that fire.
They are lacking the fire. Okay? So, and if they think or ever imagine that they can do without Raila, it's a pipe dream. They still need Raila around. But when you look because people still believe in Raila.
But when you look at Kalonzo Musyoka, former CS Eugene Wamalwa, they are causing up to each other now. They were in Kajiado on Sunday. They have planned several trips together. If Raila takes this job, how would it affect the cohesion and effectiveness of Azimio? Because everyone now will want to take over his throne.
You see, let's put it this way. If you look at Azimio formation as it is right now, the second most popular person in that formation, without a doubt, is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Without a doubt. He has a formidable following, particularly in his backyard and pockets all over the country. So the only thing that I would encourage my friend Stephen to do is to massage Raila's ego. Yeah? And, find a formula of working with him so that he has Raila's support. Because minus Raila's support, I can tell you, for free, they will not get far.
Minus Raila.
They won't get far.
Ruto will have them.
Because supposing, sometimes politics is very interesting. Supposing they enter into a deal with the Ruto. And it's possible in politics that you say, okay, Mzee, you are the one who has made me who I am. Forget about what I said in public. Me, I'm your guy. This is what I'm giving you. Other than the chairmanship of OAU that I'm supporting you, this is what I'm giving the next government. Or even before then, this is what I'm giving. I will deal with those other characters that I've appointed from Nyanza. I will deal with them. Those other characters who have been creating problems, you know them. The 5 from Nyanza, we shall crush them. And Raila may actually maybe buy into the idea. So, too early to tell, but anything is possible.
Then I want to know if Raila has this in his mind, what factors should he consider if he wants to take the AU job or he's still thinking about vying 2027? What factors should he consider so that it doesn't affect the way he exits the political landscape?
Now, for me, number one, taking the African Union job for me should not be even on the table. It's a waste of time. For me, he should stick around and guide the team that he has in Azimio to take up leadership in 2032 or before. Because then he'll be exiting in a grand manner. That he personally maybe will not have ascended to office, but his team will have taken over. Okay? So that's the option I see open for Raila, that he can start preparing a team ready to take on Ruto. But if he takes that job in African Union, okay, soft landing for the time being, but it doesn't help him in any manner. He'll exit stage locally in a colorless manner. So I'd rather he sticks around, forget about that oil job. Raila does not need those, I think they pay $100,000 per month. He doesn't need that money.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. He is already famous, not only in Kenya, in the entire globe. Okay? The only thing that Raila has not become is president.
And you're saying in 2027, if he buys, he might take Ruto on.
You see, he'll take on Ruto, but will he be able to hold Azimio together?
Well, that's...
You know, politicians look at their personal interests first. Supposing, because of that, Kalonzo and I know Kalonzo can cause a dent within Azimio.
Yeah.
He has a sizable support. If suppose he moves out and runs alone,
with
supposing also Pitias katikati. You know, these are possibilities.
You used to say that.
Yeah?
Peter left,
supposing,
right.
Supposing.
Yeah.
He can run on his own with my brother Eugene. Whether they'll create impact or not is a matter of debate. But supposing Pitias katikati. Supposing he joins William Ruto and Pitias katikati. Okay? So Raila will have a challenge. He can only run. In 2032 or before, if he's able to hold Azimio together.
That's his biggest challenge now.
That is the biggest challenge, and that is why he needs to stick around and forget about that job is being offered as chairperson of African Union. It's a waste of time in my view.
Thank you for tuning in. It's Friday. We've talked about Raila's dilemma, President William Ruto in Japan. Should Raila take that job, I may ask? What do you think about that? Should he vie in 2027? That is Philip Kisia, unscripted for you, Philip. Final message that people are heading over for the weekend.
Well, enjoy your Friday. I know you don't have much to enjoy. I know you are going through a lot of pain with the fuel prices, skyrocketing. Cost of living is unbearable. But let's keep hope alive.
Till we do talk again, have yourself a lovely weekend. Usifurahi sana, usijienjoy sana. Let's meet next week on Philip Kisia's Unscripted.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.